They just got hosed. Who you calling dummy? Dummy? Tell my monsters to get me mama and get my book. Oh no, we need to stop him. Oh no, another haunted Halloween. Oh, that was clever. It all ends slappily ever after. Goosebumps to Haunted Halloween. Hey there guys, how are you? Happy Halloween and welcome to Slade Films Goosebumps to Haunted Halloween. So this is definitely one of the worst movies I've seen all year. I'm actually surprised because I really enjoyed the first installment. I'm aware that it's not a great movie, but it's entertaining, it's fun. I love the story and the characters are amazing. Jack Black, whom I love, he's a funny guy. I mean, coming off his performance in Jumanji, he was extremely good there. And yeah, I mean, this movie, it's like they didn't even try. I mean, so just for the sake of giving out a sequel, Sony kind of rushed the production, and even the budget for the movie this time is less, and it really shows. Now, you might claim I hate this movie because it's made for kids, but I enjoyed the first movie, and so that's not a valid reason. And I even grew up with the books, and every Sunday as a kid I would go to the library and I'd go straight to the horror section and I'd pick up a Goosebumps book, and of course I'd find for the one with the coolest cover. And I love R.L. Stine. I own a few of his books. You can't really say that I'm a hater of the series. It's just a bad movie. There's no two ways around it. It's a complete mess. I mean, they don't even know what tone to go for. I don't even know if it's made for kids or adults or teenagers. I mean, you know what? Because I know none of you are going to watch this movie, and if you guys are planning to, please don't. I urge you, it's a waste of time, it's a waste of money, it's a waste of your effort. Please do not support these kind of garbage movies. And so I'm just going to get into some spoilers. So basically, the premise of the story is that two kids who like collecting junk gets an anonymous phone call, and they're led to R.L. Stine's old house, as we've seen in the first movie. And they find this book, and it just so happens to be R.L. Stine's first ever written book, which is about Slappy. And of course, they open the book. Slappy, obviously comes out of the book, and he has an evil plan, and yeah, that's basically our story. So before I dive into the negatives, which are basically 90% of the movie, I think the only saving grace or the only positive aspect of this film is that it has that Halloween vibe to it, unlike the actual Halloween movie, which I enjoyed, but it didn't have that Halloween sort of vibe to it. And so yeah, I think they got this film right with the whole Halloween theme. So one of my favorite elements in the first movie was of course Jack Black as R.L. Stine, but he's barely in this movie. He's literally in it for like 5 minutes, and the writing for him is horrendous, right? I mean, he delivers his lines terribly, and it's so cringe. I mean, the dialogue throughout this movie is absolute cringe. It's not bad, it's cringe. I literally had to cover my face because that's how embarrassed I was, and I was not involved in the production of this movie, so you know how bad it is. Even the humor is horrible. It's cringy, man. It's real cringe. I mean, unlike the first movie where the humor worked for the most part, there was even this character who was the comedic relief, and I thought he worked really well. I mean, that element was certainly missing in this movie, and man, it was horrible. So the kids in this movie, they give an okay performance, but in some scenes it just felt like they were reading right off the script, like, oh no, we need to stop him. Oh, it's another haunted Halloween. Oh no, his name is Slappy. So of course this movie has that that generic cliched subplot where this girl is having her boyfriend problems, and she basically goes to this club, she sees her boyfriend kissing another girl, and it's totally unnecessary, man. I mean, when I go into Goosebumps, I expect I expect, of course, a little scare, some humor, a great story, awesome monsters and characters, but really you want to go into some drama and romance. I mean, I literally saw this exact same scene in Halloween. So pretty much all the characters are bland. They have nothing. I wouldn't even consider them to be characters. They're just basically actors uttering lines that are written horribly. And even the main character, I mean, she was alright. She gave a decent performance, but man, the dialogue was horrible, and it really bogged down this movie. I mean, if it was written well, I would I would say it's watchable, but now I'm really confused if this movie was made to be aimed at kids or adults or teenagers, because of course we have those angsty third world problems for teenagers, you know, that's pretty much cliche stuff. But there was one scene where, you know, this main character's douchebag boyfriend was setting up some Halloween stuff on the stage. He was basically on a ladder, and you know, Slappy the puppet, he didn't, of course he didn't like the boyfriend, and so he wanted to hurt him. And what he did was he literally pulled out a screw from a ladder, and the boyfriend falls down and breaks his neck. In a kids movie, there was also this scene towards, you know, the climax of the third act, where basically Slappy turns this main character's mom into a puppet, and it was really creepy. And I think if your kids were to see that, it would scar them. So I don't even know if it's suitable for kids, because honestly I think they would be entirely bored, just like I was in this movie. And really, God, 15 minutes into this movie, I really wanted to walk out. I mean, but you know what? I gave it a chance, and as the movie progressed, it got considerably worse and worse, and the plot was just so... it's so boring. I mean, it's just a rehash of the first movie, but it's done even worse. So to sum it up, the characters are boring, bland, there's nothing to them. I wouldn't even consider them to be characters. The dialogue is probably the worst element of this movie. I think the CG for the monsters were I think that was pretty alright. I mean, they kind of CG'd Slappy the puppet, who was basically the main antagonist in this movie, and during some scenes it was terrible, but I guess it can be excused due to its low budget. And of course Jack Black was in the movie, but he was only in it for like 5 minutes, and so if he was part of the story more, I think it would have bumped up, you know, the movie entirely. And oh man, what else? The tone was... they didn't get the tone right. I mean, they didn't know if they wanted to make a movie for kids or angsty teenagers or adults. And yeah, I think it just fails on every level. But I don't know if even kids would enjoy this movie. I don't recommend that you guys check it out. Save your money, go shopping or whatever. So as I said, the only positive aspect of this film is the Halloween theme. I really felt that Halloween vibe. But the problem is, I don't think I would be rewatching this movie anytime soon, because it's just that bad. Unlike the first movie, I actually rewatched it a couple days ago, and I still think it holds up really well. I had a lot of fun with it. The characters are really interesting. I mean, the humor worked. Jack Black was amazing. And this movie was the complete opposite, where everything failed. And with all that being said, I'm gonna give Halloween 2 Haunted Halloween a D-. Honestly, I wanted to give this movie an F, but I guess the Halloween sort of vibe kind of bumped up my grade. And I mean, you could watch it without gouging your eyes out. I mean, it's oh man, I'm even struggling to say it. it's watchable, I guess, for kids, but if you're a teenager or an adult, stay away from this movie. And yeah, if you guys have seen this film, because I know it was released in the States or around the world like 2 weeks ago, so I guess most of you guys have seen it. And let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. If you guys enjoyed my review, please leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already. If you guys have subscribed, thank you very much. And yeah, that's pretty much it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Ciao.
No, what are you waiting for? Do it! Just Do it! Yes, you can! Just do it! Do it! Just do it!